Most believe that human activity, in particular the burning of fossil fuels and the resulting buildup of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, have influenced this warming trend. In the past decades, scientists have documented record-high average annual surface temperatures and have been observing other signs of change all over the planet, in the distribution of ice, and in the salinity levels and temperatures of the oceans. Everywhere on Earth, ice is changing. The famed snows of Kilimanjaro have melted more than 80% since 1912. Glaciers in the Garhwal Himalaya in India are retreating so fast that researchers believe that most central and eastern Himalayan glaciers could virtually disappear by 2035. Arctic sea ice has thinned significantly over the past half-century, and its extent has declined by about 10% in the past 30 years. NASA's repeated laser altimeter readings show the edges of Greenland's ice sheet shrinking. Spring freshwater ice breakup in the Northern Hemisphere now occurs 9 days earlier than it did 150 years ago, and autumn freeze up 10 days later. Thawing permafrost has caused the ground to subside more than 15 feet in parts of Alaska, from the Arctic to Peru, from Switzerland to the equatorial glaciers of Man Jaya in Indonesia. Massive ice fields, monstrous glaciers, and sea ice are disappearing fast. When temperatures rise and ice melts, more water flows to the seas from glaciers and ice caps, and ocean water warms and expands in volume. This combination of effects has played the major role in raising average global sea level between 4 and 8 inches in the past 100 years. According to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the vast majority of glaciers in the European glacial regions are in retreat. Glaciers in the European Alps have lost approximately half of their volume since 1900, with clear acceleration since the 1980s. Glacier retreat is expected to continue in the future. It has been estimated that the volume of European glaciers will decline between 20 to 84% compared with the current situation by 2100 under a moderate greenhouse gas forcing scenario, and between 38 and 89% under a high forcing scenario. Glacier retreat contributed to global sea level rise by about 0.8 mm per year in 2003 to 2009. It also affects freshwater supply and runoff regimes, river navigation, irrigation and power generation. Furthermore, it may cause natural hazards and damage to infrastructure. UNESCO keeps a close eye on 18,600 glaciers across 50 of its 1,000-plus World Heritage Sites. They represent almost 10% of the Earth's total glaciarized area. This list includes the highest next to Mount Everest, the longest in Alaska, the last remaining glaciers in Africa, and some of the largest glaciers across Central Asia, Central Europe, North America, the Southern Andes and New Zealand. But although being on the World Heritage List is the highest level of protection, with significant mitigation measures in place locally, glaciers under the UN Agency's watch have been retreating at an increasingly accelerated rate. Since 2000, UNESCO-protected glaciers are losing 58 billion tons of ice every year. These hulks of slow-moving ice are losing 58 billion tons of ice every year, equivalent to the total annual volume of water used in France and Spain combined. According to available data, glaciers in all World Heritage Sites in Africa will be gone by 2050, including those at Kilimanjaro National Park and Mount Kenya. In the US, glaciers will disappear from Yellowstone and Yosemite National Parks by this point. Te Waipoua Namu in southwest New Zealand is on its way out too, having lost almost 20% of its volume since 2000, while 3 parallel rivers of Yannan protected areas in China is the fastest melting glacier on the list. The report shows that this rapid disappearance of glaciers is caused by one main factor: warming temperatures in the Dolomites. For example, the Marmolada disaster struck one day after a record high temperature of 10 degrees Celsius was recorded at the glacier's summit. Around 50% of World Heritage glaciers could almost entirely disappear by 2100 in a business-as-usual emissions system.
Oh yeah! Oh whoa! Dang! Goo! Look at that wave.